Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitch and Brainstorm podcast. I'm your host, Elaine Terso, and I'm here with a new friend named Mardeen Gordon. She's going to be one of our panelists at the Elevate Your Customer Experience Summit on July 12th. And since you are a new friend, could you take a moment and introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, I'm Mardeen Gordon. I born and raised in California and currently living in Santa Cruz, California. I have been a commercial sign maker since 1983, so almost 40 years. Actually, the anniversary is June 27th, so it's very soon. I have enjoyed working with people, with customers, finding solutions to their problems, and providing them the graphics and signs that will make their business more successful.
Very cool. So I imagine that you've been in the business for a long time, and I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about building customer loyalty. I'm sure that repeat customers are very, very important to you. So how do you do
Absolutely.
that?
I I think that it's really important to communicate really clearly and be honest with people. I try to hold in my mind always that we're all just human beings. We're all just trying to get a job done. And we have our lives and our emotions and, our needs behind everything. And if you can connect on that level with even a person in a professional setting, that helps to build connection. And that connection is what makes people trust you and want to come back for more business in the future.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's so important. Returning customers and are also more likely to refer you to other people as well, right? Because it
Absolutely.
means that they were satisfied with their experience. Maybe you went above and beyond, the whole under promise, over deliver. Is that a practice that you have in your business as well?
Yeah, try to be realistic with expectations. I always give people an estimate for their business,
Mhm.
for whatever their order is, and I will not begin working on anything until I've got a confirmation from them that they accept the estimate and they accept the timeline and all of those things. Um, uh, I try not to promise something that I don't think I'm going to be able to deliver, where I'm going to have to make excuses later on.
Yeah.
That really hurts everyone when
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. I once had somebody that I worked with that loved excuses.
Mm,
And most of the time they were fabrications, maybe
mhm.
little white lies, but they really just kind of put a bad taste in your mouth because it makes you wonder if you can believe anything that they're saying ever. Is
Right.
anything you're saying a lie? Like anything you say true? You know,
Yeah.
it's really, really hard to trust somebody when you discover that they're making excuses or whatever.
Yeah. And for me personally, the one thing that will upset me more than anything is when I find that someone has lied to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think honesty really can be the best policy, when you are running a business, but just being honest with your customers, people will understand. People are, I always would tell my kids when they were growing up, right? Don't lie to me. I can handle the truth. And
Yeah.
we have to, expect our customers to also understand that I'm telling you the truth. And so they're going to have more respect for you, I think, in the end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And words matter. Our words are our way of connecting with others and
Yeah.
explaining, a concept, making sense of our world.
Yeah.
And choosing the right words and making sure that they're accurate and the proper grammar, proper spelling in a written context. Those make an impression on people.
Yeah. I imagine that sometimes not everything is rainbows and unicorns, right? And
Nope.
so sometimes little black clouds may appear, and so how do you handle conflict with a customer, if a disagreement or whatever that might look like?
Well, first, I always accept that we all make mistakes.
Mm.
And a mistake is really just an opportunity to learn something.
Yes, ma'am, you're speaking my language.
So if you can take responsibility for your part in that mistake, whatever it was, and ask the other person to recognize their part in their responsibility for it as well, then you're working together to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have to give up some profit, some time, something to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
And the other person usually has to compromise something as well.
Yeah.
And when you can reach an agreement about what will resolve the situation with the least loss for everyone involved, then you have a solution to the conflict.
Yeah. That is really, really hard. It can be really hard because I can imagine that most of us get on the defensive side, right? Because, oh my gosh, welcome to being human, right? Is that we are going to make mistakes. And one of the things that I love what you just said was, mistakes are lessons, because I actually learned that from a book way back in the day. It was Oprah's book club book. It was called If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. And one of them was there are no mistakes, only lessons. And the next lesson after that, which was lessons will be repeated until learned.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you don't take the time to learn from this and make a change, it will present itself to you over and over and over again to test you, to
Right.
see if you actually are going to do it differently the next time, which can
Yeah.
be really annoying, especially when it can impact your income.
Yes. Yes, and I make mistakes over and over again, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I think probably my biggest one is that I always think things are going to take less time than they actually do.
Mm.
So, trying to give an estimate to somebody and you think, well, that'll take me 4 hours to make that sign. And, so you give them a price, they agree to it, they give you a deposit, and then it takes 8 hours to make the sign.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that loss. It was your mistake.
Mm.
So, but if you estimated 8 hours, they may not have taken the job. So, there's that balance. You're always trying to figure out that fine line.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard, feeling like you're not going to be like your time is not valued.
Yeah, yeah, you're basically cutting your own time value in half.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So what do you do about that? Like,
I worked for another sign maker for 12 years, and his philosophy was, I am worth what I charge.
mm,
And if they don't accept my quote, then I don't want to work with them. I thought of it at the time as being somewhat arrogant, but he built a loyal following of people who were willing to pay the price and were very happy with what the results. And he was, profitable and very successful, and I learned a lot from him.
mm-hmm,
So, and he made beautiful signs, really well crafted, really, high quality,
mm-hmm.
and he was worth what he charged. So, that's where you have to trust yourself and accept that you're not going to get every job, you're not going to get every customer, but the ones that you do get are the ones that respect you and
Yes.
appreciate what you can do.
Yes. 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 I kind of, I learned very quickly that cheaper does not equal better. And that, you kind of that mentality of you get what you pay for. But I also learned that way before I do what I do now, I used to be a photographer,
Mm,
right? And when I was starting out, I charged really low prices because I thought that I had to because I didn't have a lot of experience. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so, but then I noticed that pricing myself really low attracted low quality as well
Yep.
to me, where people were very demanding, very unkind, and just they just were not really fun to work with.
Mm.
And so once I gained more experience and gained my confidence, I started raising my prices, and I started noticing that the type of people I was attracting was very different because I was pricing myself higher,
Mhm.
that I was attracting higher quality clients. And the fear of not meeting their expectations really started impacting how I was pricing myself. I went to a retreat once where I really wanted to quit photography, but I couldn't admit it to myself.
Mm.
I'd been doing it for 10 years and it was time. And so the retreat facilitator said, I want you to go around the room and tell people that you charge $50,000 for a photo shoot. And that made me want to vomit
Mm.
because I didn't realize it until later, like last year, maybe, that I had a fear of not meeting expectations based on the price tag. Like, how am I gonna what kind of photos am I going to deliver that somebody's going to pay $50,000 for? Not
Yeah.
Penny Leibowitz, for goodness sake, right? So that was a really huge breakthrough for me, like this unrealistic expectations, but clearly communicating the expectations from the beginning of their working relationship so that there were no like surprises, except good ones. We always want good surprises, but if I'm charging $5,000 for something, this is what you're going to get. And just being really clear and upfront at the beginning, which is something that I think you talked a little bit about in that communication process of this is what you get. This is how long it's going to take. This is what it's going to cost. Boom, lay it out before you even sign on the dotted line and say, yes, we're going to work together.
Yeah, and never ever try to increase the price after an agreement has been made.
Mhm.
That is something that people will take as an offense,
Okay.
and it completely destroys trust.
Yeah.
If you say, well, if you just, add 5 more photos, it'll cost this much more, it's like, no, you've sold it.
Yeah.
You don't need to upsell after you've sold it.
Hmm.
Unless they request something different.
Extra. Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you give them
Yeah.
a quote and you do a change order, you do whatever you
Mhm,
have to do to
mhm,
accommodate that.
mhm.
Um, Another thing that I've dealt with in the sign business is that, we're professionals, but we're not considered to be on the level of something like an architect or a contractor even,
Uh-huh.
we don't get paid the hourly rate that an architect would,
Mm.
but we have a lot of the same training
And
and,
skill set, yeah,
yep, skill
yeah.
set and
Mhm,
understanding of construction and design. Um, and that was something I had to wrap my mind around early on in my career was, we need to educate people
mhm,
about what we actually do.
mhm.
We're not just graphic designers, that you give
Yeah,
us what you want on the sign and we pop out something that'll,
mhm,
that'll work. We know how to take something from a business card size and make it 8 foot by 10 foot
mhm,
and make it readable and attractive. And,
mhm.
it is your brand
Yeah,
that we're producing, and it's permanent. It's going to be there for years.
yeah, just like a building,
Yeah.
yeah, you should call yourself a sign maker architect.
Yeah.
Then you can increase the value.
Yeah, that's right. I work with a lot of architects, a lot of the projects that we do, we provide signage for an entire building and,
Mhm.
we have to work with the architect to make sure that there's, enough strength in the wall to hold the weight of the sign and,
Right.
there's all kinds of engineering that goes into it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I've developed some good relationships with architects, but still with the people who are ordering a sign, especially small businesses, they just don't even think about that kind of.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, this has been so wonderful to talk with you a little bit and kind of give people a taste test of what they can expect at the summit. And so I just want to thank you for coming to share with us a little bit more about you. And I cannot wait for the summit. It was really lovely meeting you.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it. I really appreciate you offering me the opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye.